You said yes, again, to something you swore you'd delegate. Now your day's off track, your brain's fried, and your team's still waiting on you for direction. Sound familiar? This is a trap so many business owners get stuck in, not because they're bad at leading, but because no one ever taught them how to decide what should come off their plate and what absolutely shouldn't be theirs anymore. And if that's something you've been trying to figure out, stay with me because at the end of this video, I'll share one mindset shift that helped me and the CEOs I coach finally stop over functioning and get their time back without hiring 5 new people or rebuilding their team from scratch. Let's talk about what to take off your plate so you can lead at the level your business really needs. Most business owners I meet are over functioning and under supported. They're exhausted, frustrated, and secretly wondering, is it me or am I just bad at delegating? Let me tell you about one business leader I worked with. She had a strong team in place, but her day was constantly interrupted. Messages, emails, quick questions. Where's that file? Can you approve this? Should we reschedule that client? She told me, I thought hiring a team would lighten the load, but it's actually made it heavier. Sound familiar? Here's what was really happening. She had built a team that could execute, but she hadn't built the systems that could think for themselves. Every decision, every small hiccup, every tiny judgment call was flowing back to her desk. The truth is, you're not the problem. The real issue is no one ever taught you how to decide what actually belongs on your plate and what doesn't. And here's the kicker. Most of us are carrying tasks that we could have let go months, even years ago, but we're holding on to them out of habit, not necessity. And that's what we're going to fix today. Taking things off your plate isn't about doing less, it's about doing more of the right things. Because here's the truth. Most of us started our business by doing it all. And at the beginning, that made complete sense. You wore all the hats because you had to. But as your business grows, your role has to grow with it. What worked then may be what's holding you back now. You don't need to be the one answering every question, reviewing every detail, or making every decision. Not because you can't, but because it's no longer the highest use of your time, energy, or leadership. And letting go of those things, it doesn't mean you're losing control. It means you're stepping into your next level. Think about it this way. When you're doing work that someone else could handle with the right training and systems, you're not just overworking yourself, you're actually underutilizing your team. You're robbing them of the chance to grow, contribute, and feel truly valuable. There's nothing broken here. You've gotten this far by being committed, capable, and all in. Now the invitation is to lead in a new way, not with your hands in everything, but with your focus on the things that matter most. Because you weren't meant to carry it all. You were meant to build something that works beyond you. That's a mindset shift that unlocks everything else. You're not just the doer anymore, you're the leader. And once you start leading from that place, everything changes. Now let's talk about what actually belongs on your plate and what doesn't. Early in my career, I was climbing the corporate ladder, working for a global company, traveling internationally, and surrounded by some of the sharpest people I've ever met. One day, in a casual conversation, a senior leader, someone who trained the best and the brightest, told me something I've never forgotten. He said, Melissa, your to-do list isn't what makes a difference. It's your stop doing list. And he was right, because as leaders, we're taught to get things done, but no one really teaches us how to let go. So we stay stuck doing more than we need to do, more than we should, and more than our role requires. That's why I want to give you a simple 3-question filter, something you can use to decide quickly what to delegate, what to keep, and what's quietly draining your time and energy. But before we jump in, let me ask you this. What's one task you've been thinking about delegating but keep putting off? Drop it in the comments. You're not alone, and sometimes just naming it is the first step to letting it go. All right, let's dive in. Think of these 3 questions as your CEO filter. So you're spending time where it counts, not where it's comfortable. Question 1, does your task require your strategic brain or just your hands? If it's something that could be done with a checklist, without your leadership, decision-making, or insight, it probably doesn't need you. That doesn't mean it's not important. It just means it's not yours anymore. So here's an example. Entering data, confirming appointments, processing invoices, chasing down forms. They don't need your strategic brain. They need a system in someone else's hands. But here's where it gets tricky. Sometimes we convince ourselves that these tasks are strategic because we've been doing them for so long. Ask yourself, if you wrote down exactly how you do this task, could someone else follow those steps and get the same result? If yes, it's process work and not strategic work. If your time is going to tasks that don't require your expertise, your business is operating below its potential. Question 2. Is this task tied to vision, growth, or leadership? This is where you bring the most value, so protect this space. If it moves the business forward, if it shapes where you're going or develops your people, it likely stays on your plate. But if it's something you're only doing because you always have, it's worth re-evaluating. Here's an example. Defining priorities or casting vision. That's your job. Managing scheduling logistics, not so much. Here's a deeper way to think about this. Will this task be different in 6 months because your business has grown? If your answer is yes, it's probably strategic. If it's going to be exactly the same process in 6 months from now, it's operational. And operational work can be delegated. Your team can't step up if you never step back. And question 3, could someone else do this 80% as well with some support and training? This is a question that actually helps you let go. If the answer is yes, but you're still doing it, pause and ask why. Is it a habit? Is it control? Is it perfectionism? I've been there. Here's what I've learned. Done well enough by someone else is better than done perfectly by a burnt out CEO. Here's an example. If a team member could handle client follow-ups with a clear script and simple process, it's time to trust them with it. And here's the thing about that 80%. It often becomes 90% or even 100% once your team member gets comfortable with the task. They might even find a way to improve it that you never thought of because they're looking at it with fresh eyes. Let go of perfect, delegated is better. Now maybe you're thinking, this sounds great, but everyone on my team is already maxed out. There's no one I can hand this off to. I hear this all the time, and I want you to know that it's not a deal breaker. It's just a sign that your business has outgrown how your team is currently structured. You don't need to hire 5 new people tomorrow, but you do need a plan to realign what your team is doing so that the right work is on the right desks. That might mean shifting responsibilities across roles, creating systems so work takes less time, or preparing your next hire strategically instead of reactively. Sometimes it also means looking at what your team is currently doing and asking, what are they doing that doesn't actually need to be done at all? Because often we're not just doing too much, but our teams are too. Your team doesn't need to be bigger, they need to be set up better. And you need to stop carrying it all so that you can lead to the next level of growth in your business. If it doesn't need your strategy, doesn't serve your vision, and could be done by someone else with a little support, it's probably time to take it off your plate. So let's recap. When you're overwhelmed and trying to figure out what to take off your plate, you don't need to guess, you don't need to burn out. You just need a better filter. Ask yourself, does this task need your strategic brain or just your hands? Is it tied to vision, growth, and leadership? And could someone else do it 80% as well with the right support? If the answers are no, no, and yes, then it's time to let go, because holding on to everything isn't what makes you a strong leader. Letting go of the right things is what makes you a strategic one. And here's that shift I promised. You don't create more time by working faster. You create more time by doing less of the wrong things. When you start operating this way, something amazing happens. Your team stops waiting for you to make every decision. They start thinking more strategically themselves. And instead of coming to you with problems, they start coming to you with solutions. That's when your team steps up. And that's when your business starts working for you, not because of you. If you're wondering where to focus next in your business, take my free quiz at bossbrilliance.com/quiz. It'll show you what stage of growth you're in and what to focus on right now. And tell me in the comments, what's one thing you know needs to come off of your plate this week? I'd love to hear it, and I promise you're not alone. If this helped you, like the video and subscribe for more, and share it with other business owners who need this reminder. You were made for more, not for everything. Still feeling like the weight of your business is on your shoulders? Watch this next. Why your business still feels heavy, even with a team. It'll help you spot the real reasons you're still in the weeds and how to fix it. See you next time.